Hi folks, welcome to another video on Power Automate Desktop. In this video, we'll be discussing some panes available in Power Automate Desktop when you create a flow and open it. So let's jump to Power Automate Desktop. And to create a new flow, you have to click on New Flow, give it some name, and click on Create. It will take a couple of seconds to open. Now, we have a brand new flow open in front of us. Let's discuss some of the panes available in front of us. So this pane you see on the left hand side is for the actions. Now you have numerous actions available, and depending on the requirement, you can search it. For example, let's say if you want to display a message box, I'll type display here and I'll bring the action on the front pane, which is the workspace one, and I'll type something. For example, this is a demo flow. I'll click on save and my action has been saved. Now, if you see at the top, you have multiple options. For example, you can click on save to save this flow. In order to test it, you can click on run. And if you want to stop the running flow, you can create on stop. Now, let's say for debugging purpose, you want to run all the steps one by one. You will be clicking on this option, which will be running action by action. And there's one more option available here, which is for your recording. In case you want to record a flow, you will first click on it and then you will complete the flow in the usual manner. And once you stop the recording, all those steps will be created for you in a sample framework. Now the middle tab is the place where you will be creating your flow. You will be dragging and dropping all the actions, configuring their different parameters and save them. Coming to the right side, so there are three options available here. For example, first one, which is the variables pane. So as you know, to store any value in order to process something and store the result, for all these things you require variables. So whatever variables you create, they'll all be displayed here. Now in the variable, there are two categories. First is input output variables. Second is flow variables. So input output variables are going to be used when, let's say, you have some other flow being called from inside it, or you are trying to connect to a cloud flow, then you will have some input output variable exchange and they will be displayed here. For all the other variables which you will be creating inside the flow itself, you will see them here at the bottom under the category flow variables. So for example, this action, it created a variable for me, button pressed. When I click save, a variable will be created here called button press. So now let's say I want to change the name of this. I'll just have to go to action, click on the variable name. Now let's say I want to change it to something else. For example, value of button pressed. I'll change the name, click save, and my value will be changed for the variable's name. Coming to the other options, for example, if you click on this middle icon, it will open UI elements pane. So in case you have to interact with any element, for example, a taskbar, a text box, a drop down, wherever in different applications, you will be assigning them here. And once they are saved, you'll see them here. Coming to the third icon, which is for images, multiple times you might be requiring to integrate with some images in your flow. For example, you want to check if some image is present on the screen or not, and in case it's present, you want to do something. Then for all those cases, you need to first specify what image you want to save, and once you capture it, they all will be displayed here. Coming to the bottom, there are some values shown here. For example, how many actions are there, how many subflows are there, what's the run delay you want between different actions. And at the bottom, in case there is any error, for example, let's say I don't put something into it, then I should get an error. Okay, didn't get an error. So let's say we take some other action and don't fill parameter for it. Let's say we take an action for open SQL connection, but let's say we don't save it without any value. It is going to generate an error for us. So at the bottom, you see a new pane has appeared, which is showing us the different values for the errors. For example, what's the line number the error is present in? What's the subflow? Is it on main page or subflow? What's the error text? So all these things will be displayed here. So these are all the panes when you work in Power Automate Desktop. Thanks for watching.